me.
The last topic that we got, basically, still talking about PlayStation or whatever, but Netflix. We mentioned before, probably like 2 podcasts ago, that Netflix was basically planning to get into the video game area, and we've heard like a lot of rumors about Netflix like popping up with like the video game aspect on their subscription service. So it's like free of charge to the highest subscription service that you got or whatever, but you'd be able to play some games.
Right.
And there's been talks of I guess like some data mining of like there being
Netflix.
PlayStation stuff on the Netflix app.
Yeah, they had the data mined imagery of the DualSense controllers in like some type of like graphic design.
Yeah.
And then Ghost of Tsushima, he's standing there looking at the skull face mask.
Right.
The cover art for Ghost of Tsushima.
Right.
And so this just set the internet a storm, like, what does this mean? Does this mean that we're going to start seeing PlayStation games on Netflix?
On Netflix?
We do know that Netflix is trying to get into the gaming world.
Right.
What's weird, though, is if they were planning on... This is why I don't know if it necessarily means games or just like TV shows.
Right.
And another,
because we don't know if that
know.
interaction is like PlayStation loaning out their or trading out their IPs
right
to Netflix so that they can do more shows, kind of like The Witcher and some of the other ones that's out there now. So that now
we've
you
seen
got
them
a
do that
Tsushima
with
show
games and
and
stuff.
some other
Right.
stuff. Maybe a Ratchet and Clank cartoon or something like that. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, and there is another route too that I didn't even know about or think about, but I was listening to David Jaffe.
Okay.
He's the guy that created the original God of War on PS2 and Twisted Metal. So I listen to him every now and again. And he was talking about this, and he says, because he worked in the development, he did all this, right? Behind the scenes stuff, develop content, right? He made God of War,
right.
Twisted Metal. And he says, like, oftentimes they would put into their own, systems, images of other games and things to help give inspiration or give ideas to like how to market something or how something looks. And I can absolutely see them like, this is a really great picture, the way they marketed it. Ghost of Tsushima is super popular. Let's utilize this and copy this in some way for our gaming division. And it may not even necessarily be in a partnership with PlayStation.
Okay, gotcha.
That's a route. He says that it could be because he says they do these kind of things. Like behind the scenes, they use other people's, imagery and stuff to like, for inspiration.
Just give you an idea.
Just ideas or how to market or do things
right.
or how to make art in general for games.
Yeah.
He says that could be a route. He doesn't, because no one knows what this means. So it's like, but he's saying that could just be it because they never release this to the public. So this is clearly behind something.
Right.
So it's behind closed doors. So it could be just that. But it could also be, just be them maybe using these video games in like an interactive storytelling way. Didn't they have a show or something like that where you would use your controller and you would like pick a choice?
Yeah.
And the movie would continue like from that choice?
Yeah. There was like 2 or 3 shows that they had on there that they have on there that will allow you to choose like the outcomes or whatever of the show.
Right. Choose the outcomes of the show. Like, what if they were just going to take like Ghost of Tsushima and make like a little interactive show out of it, or even Stranger Things and make an interactive show out of it? The reason why I say that is because if you're going to partner with Sony to make a game division, then why did you go and make your own Netflix game division by hiring the ex-EA director to head up the game division of Netflix if you were just going to partner with Sony anyways? That's what's weird to me about this whole situation.
I hear you on that, but I would also counter that, this is Netflix, right? Been known for movies and shows. So... like, yeah, if you look at Netflix as a whole, as a business, it didn't start creating its own content until well deep in. You know what I mean? It was getting other people's movies and just providing them on there. So why wouldn't they get another company's games, provide them on there while they work on theirs so that they can throw theirs in, as they get them, so that it's not solely weighted upon their games. Because, I mean, like, I feel like that's kind of like possible issue that Google Stadia had, with trying to get into games, right? Is that they were essentially trying to make their own games and use those games to hold the weight of Google Stadia. But because of all the other shit that you have to do in order to play third-party games, like you have to buy that game specifically for Google Stadia. You can't you buy it for PC and then it just works on there. You know what I mean? So it's like it didn't work out as far as that goes. It's not versatile enough. So maybe that's just them trying to cover their ass and keep it alive, even if they don't produce something every month or every 3 months or whatever. You know, they start off with like one game, but they offer PlayStation games. And the fact that you could possibly be able to play these games through Netflix instead of having to get like PS Now or whatever, you know, it might be beneficial.
I just think that this would benefit Sony more than it would benefit Netflix.
For sure.
And I think that Netflix is more so like, what do we need Sony for? I think that they can get lots of games without needing Sony's help. And I think, like, in a sense, they hired this Mike Verdu guy to do that, make these connections and get games on their platform without needing like Sony to come along and ask, we need you, we need your help, we need your games, you know, to start us off. I think Netflix is like, no, you need us. We don't need you, like you need us. So maybe it could be the other way around. Maybe it could be Sony trying to ask to be a part of what they've already are beginning to do, develop games for Netflix. But I tend to think it's more along the lines of TV shows, but I do think they're going to have video games. I do believe that. Netflix is going to have video games.
Yeah.
We just don't know like what direction they're going to be going in and what route they're going to be taking when it comes to like the type of games that they have. Are they going to be doing Ghost of Tsushima? I could never see that. And another route I think they're still trying to figure out is, do we want to go the download route like we were just talking about with the Steam Deck, or the cloud route?
I think you have to. You can't do a streaming.
I know.
I don't think that's gonna work out. It's already rough enough. You know what I mean? Like you're talking about putting a game that could be almost 120 gigabytes.
And trying to run that
on
the
a
cloud.
server and trying to run it through everybody. Like, I think you would do it just like they've done it with the movies, right? With their original content, they allow you to download it to the system or whatever. Like if your phone, you're able to download that to your phone and you're able to watch it offline.
Right.
You know, but you still got to log into the account. You can't access it, you know, by going into your files on your iPhone or going into your files on your Android or whatever. You have to download it and then access it through the app. So they already know how that works. So I'm sure they can get it so that you download it, but it's in the library of your Netflix.
And the only thing I will say is that I think if anyone has good streaming technology, it's Netflix. And so I think if they try to go the streaming route, I would be curious to maybe try it.
Yeah.
I know I don't like xCloud. I've heard mixed reviews on PS Now's streaming capabilities.
Yeah.
Google Stadia I hear is okay, but it flubs up sometimes too. But Netflix, I would think, might be able to maybe crack this code. I think gaming in the cloud could be part of our future if someone can figure out how to get it to work.
Infrastructure
for if you can get it to work, I know, and an awesome infrastructure for internet.
You got to have
I'm talking
cities and towns. Like,
I'm talking like farther in the future,
farther
in the future,
right?
Not like in
the next year.
What's that movie that came out? Not Blade Runner future, like not that far away, but pretty far, in 10, 15, maybe 20 years from now, we got an internet infrastructure that can handle this type of computing and over the cloud to your home, where if anyone's going to be at the forefront of that, it'd be Netflix. And so I'm really curious about what direction they're going to go here. My first thought is that they're going to do their own thing and, not get help from anybody.
Yeah.
And make, arrangement with developers to produce games and stuff for them.
They need more developers than what they got.
They need more developers than what they got. But I do think that that's my gut. And this could be more like TV show agreements and things like that.
I feel like if it was with PlayStation, it would be more TV shows.
Yeah, I lean that way. Yeah. There's no way to know. Like, it could be games, but like I just lean that way,
It just seems more likely. But I'll tell you what, Netflix is looking better as a possible subscription service for that higher tier when the Steam Deck comes out. If it does produce that, because you could then play your Netflix stuff on the Steam Deck as well.
And Netflix did say that they're not planning to increase your subscription because of this.
That's interesting too.
So they're just going to give you an additional premiums.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to increase their prices for inflation forever, but they're not increasing it just because of this, right? So that's great news. Yeah, it only adds value to the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck's awesome, dude. Like, talk about Xbox One, how they wanted it to be your one thing. Right. No, this is one thing, dude. Yeah. Like, it's that dope.
I mean, if Netflix was able to partnership with PlayStation and able to get like maybe not all of their first party titles, but a large majority of their first party titles, and you'd be able to play them on Netflix. Man,
you have no reason to get anything but a Steam Deck.
And the Steam is gonna do superbly.
That's why the Steam Deck, they got to be really excited, man, because they're the first one to kind of strike on this. Yeah. On this ground.
I'm just waiting for the invitations, man. I'm waiting for all these other ones to come out to duplicate that shit.
Me too. Because this is like the first gen. This is like the iPhone. It's like the first company to do it.
It is.
And it's like, this is, I think, the wave. I honestly feel that way. Have some
proprietary, operating system and crap with like their proprietary store and all that stuff. Yeah, it's do what you want with it.
I feel like the Steam Deck is like the beginning of a new era. Just like the iPhone was the beginning of a new era for smartphones, like to change the way we, talked and communicated.
Yeah.
This is going to change the way we develop and make games. It's pretty exciting. I mean, I want to be on the ground floor, but I believe, like you're saying, the coming years, who's going to do what's going to happen next? What are these other guys going to do?
Is somebody going to be able to produce that 1080p or that 4K screen
for the same price and more power?
Yeah, and be able to
how phones just kept getting better and better and better year after year after year.
I told you guys in the chat, but this Steam Deck reminds me of a Sega Genesis Nomad. I don't know if you guys know about it.
Game Gear too. A Game Gear too, right?
Slightly like a Game Gear, but more so like the Nomad, just because the Nomad was so big and bulky.
Yeah,
as
you owned a Nomad. You were one of the rare people on planet Earth.
Anyway,
that I know. And that
don't
owned
try to
a
play
Nomad.
my boys at Sega like that, man.
Dude, it was dope though, because you played the actual Genesis cartridge when inside.
You had the games. You never had to buy a whole nother game. The Game Gear was cool, but it sucked because you had to buy a separate cartridge.
That's what I'm talking about. That whole model.
You don't even have to do that.
That's how we've always understood gaming handhelds to be. It's their own separate games. You can't put your Genesis game on it. But the Nomad, you slept on the actual Genesis game. They're like the first to kind of do this Steam Deck thing. But no one, I think probably because of the battery power and it was big and clunky, people didn't see the value in it. Well, but they really tried.
Because it wasn't as nice looking as the other one was. It had to literally slot a Sega Genesis cartridge.
It wasn't as nice looking.
So it wasn't slim, and whatnot, and like real handheldy, you know what I mean? And that bitch weighed. It was beefy.
It was ahead of its time, though.
This Steam Deck is beefy. It says like a pound or something like that.
Yeah, my only complaint, I think I will say with the Steam Deck, did you notice how like the D-pad was directly parallel to the buttons? The A, B, X, Y.
Yeah,
when normally it's below.
They have the triggers. They have the thumbsticks and everything at the top.
Yeah, but normally on every single controller we've ever played, Nintendo, it's always below the button. So your muscle memory is to go up.
Right.
So I don't know. That's going to take some muscle memory, maybe able to go to the side.
Well, I mean,
that's my only really.
Normally, it's like you gotta go at a slight angle or whatever.
Up.
Yeah, you gotta go up, but you're going like
But now you're gonna go. Now you're gonna go to the side, like I don't know. It's just gonna be a weird way to move my thumb.
I'm hoping that the touchpads that are on the console
you could just use that. So you can use one joystick and the touchpad for the other one.
Yeah, or you could. I mean, there's touchpads on both sides. You could do that. You to use them both.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping it's as efficient as
more
a mouse
PlayStation,
would be.
Right? Where like you have your fingers here and you go up for everything for the D-pad and the buttons. Yeah, right. That would be cool.
So, but we'll see. But I'm definitely excited as I think more about the capabilities of the Steam Deck and everything else, how it's all going. Like, it just seems like the Steam Deck will be like that major system to change the game.
I think so.
But
I think so, bro. And they're gonna sell millions of these things.
Yeah, and as far as the Netflix and PlayStation rumors are concerned, I hope that means that, we could see some more things like, utilizing PlayStation IP. Like, I can only imagine if you went with like an Uncharted show. I mean, I know the movie is going on and everything, but if there was like a show, it might be more versatile with a show to give you all of the different adventures that Drake could get on. or any of the other IPs that they have.
Right.
Maybe taking Days Gone and making that into a show, since you don't want to do it too.
I think so.
You know what I mean?
I think so,
it's
man.
The zombie type of universe stuff.
They can make lots of good movies.
Interesting. It could be compelling
with those Sony IPs. They can make lots of good TV shows with those IPs, man. That'd be a great partnership.
I mean, when you look at the Ratchet and Clank cutscenes and stuff like that,
that's a show.
That's a show. So like,
and when you see with what Disney's doing over there with these shows,
exactly,
like, that's a big direction too. Right. It seems like almost movies are moving out of the way, and these shows are taking over too, because they're dumping lots of value into these shows.
I mean, in all of those Marvel shows, man, they're literally doing like cinematic cuts.
Totally.
And stuff like that. Like
this is like movie love. Yeah, it's cinematic cuts. Exactly. Yeah. This is not like TV shows.
They could have taken all of Loki and made that into a movie and just gave it to you like that, but they decided to break it up into episodes. I don't know why, because it has almost the same production value as the movie.
That's how I felt with Mandalorian too. It's like, wow, they're really pumping out like these shows. This is nothing like we've ever seen before. Like, this isn't like the side dessert. Like oftentimes the TV shows like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., all along when they made these shows, they're always kind of these side appetizer things.
Right.
But the feature length film, that was the coup de grace.
Right.
These shows are like, no, we're not taking a backseat to anybody. We're like, we're just as important, we're just as awesome, and we're just as unique as the movies are.
Right.
It's interesting, dude. It's so cool. It's a cool time to live, right? It's a cool time to live.
Interesting times that we're getting to.
All these times we're into, man.
But so that's it. That's all we got for you guys this week. Thank you again for listening. Thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed yet, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button, man. Smash it, as they say. Write down in the comments what you think would be on the next state of play. That'll be good to talk about that down there. Do you think it's just going to be Kenna, or do you think they're actually going to show God of War Ragnarok finally? And then tell us what you think about this Steam Deck. I know Brahms, you got some stuff to say about that Steam Deck, man. So let's hear it. Let's discuss this.
Yeah.
And until next week, we'll catch you guys later. Deuces.
Peace.
See you.
I love you,